The drowning reason your coastline hides your city's expiration date from you, and in 2005 in Louisiana, it erased 217 square miles of solid ground in a single hurricane season. Not flooded, not damaged, erased, wiped from the map forever. You're standing on land right now that geologists have already quietly marked as borrowed time, and the clock started ticking before you were even born. Here's what nobody tells you about the ground under a coastal city. It isn't rock. It isn't permanent. Much of it is compressed mud, sand, and ancient river silt, stacked in layers over thousands of years, and it is settling under its own weight every single day. Scientists call it subsidence. Your body calls it nothing because you can't feel it. A few millimeters a year is invisible to you, but multiply that by decades, and the ground beneath millions of people has already dropped below the level of the water trying to reach it. The sea isn't only rising to meet you. The land is sinking to meet the sea. Two forces closing in from opposite directions, and you're standing in the middle and you had no idea. Jakarta, Indonesia, is sinking faster than almost anywhere on Earth, up to 25 centimeters a year in some districts. That's not a typo. In a single year, some neighborhoods drop nearly a foot. The government has already begun relocating the national capital inland, abandoning a city of 10 million people to the water piece by piece. In parts of North Jakarta, the ocean now sits above the height of people's roofs, held back only by aging sea walls that were never built for this. Ask why, and the answer turns personal fast. It's groundwater. Millions of residents pumping water out of the earth beneath their own homes because the public system can't keep up, hollowing out the ground they stand on, one well at a time. The city isn't drowning because the ocean attacked it. The city is drowning because it drank itself empty from below. Your own tap water in a city like this becomes the hand digging your grave in slow motion. Now here's where it gets stranger, because you'd expect the fix to be obvious. Build higher walls. Pump water back in. Stop drilling. But in Venice, engineers tried exactly that, and the sinking didn't stop, it just changed shape. When they capped groundwater extraction in the 1970s, the land subsidence slowed, but it never reversed, because compressed sediment, once squeezed flat, doesn't spring back like a sponge. It stays flat, permanently. That's the part that breaks people's assumptions. You can stop causing the problem and still lose the fight, because the ground itself has already changed its structure at a molecular level, and there's no rewind button on geology. Venice today sinks roughly 1 to 2 millimeters a year from natural causes alone, on top of a sea level that keeps climbing regardless of what the city does. The trap isn't a bad decision. The trap is physics that doesn't forgive. So follow this all the way down, because the deep truth is worse than cities are sinking. Coastal land isn't one solid mass failing evenly. It's failing unevenly, in pockets, which means some streets sink while the one next to it holds, and that mismatch tears infrastructure apart from underneath. In Houston, differential subsidence linked to oil, gas, and groundwater withdrawal has cracked building foundations, buckled roads, and reversed the flow of drainage systems that were engineered assuming flat, stable ground. Water that used to drain toward the coast now pools inland instead, because the coastal edge has physically dropped lower than the neighborhoods behind it. Entire flood control systems, designed by engineers who trusted the ground to stay where they measured it, are now obsolete, not from bad design, but because the baseline itself moved. This is happening under Miami, under Shanghai, under the Mississippi Delta, where wetlands that once buffered storm surge have lost so much elevation that a Category 1 hurricane today floods areas that shrugged off a Category 3 60 years ago. The barrier didn't disappear. It sank below the threshold where it could still protect you, and nobody rang a bell when it crossed that line, because sinking doesn't announce itself. It just arrives. Remember that number from the opening, 217 square miles gone in one season. That wasn't an outlier disaster. That was the visible tip of a process running under nearly every major coastal city on the planet, right now, underneath office buildings, apartment complexes, hospitals, schools. The ground beneath a coastal skyline is not a fixed foundation. It is a slow-motion collapse, measured in millimeters instead of moments, which is exactly why almost no one prepares for it. Fast disasters get evacuation plans. Slow ones get ignored until the insurance maps quietly redraw themselves and the property values move before anyone explains why. So ask yourself the question this leaves behind. If the land under your own city has been sinking for decades without you feeling a single inch of it, what else, right now, beneath your feet, is already failing, silently, exactly on schedule? 867 words, within the 900 plus or minus 5% target. Ready for the next script whenever you are.